بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful.
فخامة الرئيس
Your Excellency,
ألكسندر
Alexander
ستوب
II, the President of Finland,
الحضور
dear attendees, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to welcome His Excellency President Alexander and his accompanying delegation in Cairo in the first visit for a Finnish president to Egypt for years, which adds a special nature to this visit as it reflects the depth of relations between Egypt and Finland. It also reflects a mutual political will to push forward these relations into wider horizons, which supports the relation between both peoples and supports development regionally and internationally. We had deepened and constructive discussions regarding bilateral cooperation. We also exchanged points of views on the developments of regional and international situations. We agreed to build upon the cooperation achieved over the past few years, in addition to discovering new opportunities and fields for partnership between both of us. This also reflects the great potential owned by both states. During our discussions, we confirmed on the necessity to enhance economic, trade, and investment exchange and create the suitable environment for this, in addition to encouraging mutual investments and encouraging business communities in both countries. In this context, I'd like to appreciate the fact that His Excellency the President was accompanied by a delegation of Finnish businessmen, which enhances and deepens the economic and commercial relations between both countries. This represents a tangible step, especially in the light of promising investment opportunities and unprecedented development in the Egyptian infrastructure. Together with His Excellency President Alexander, we discussed means of cooperation in a number of sectors, especially the sectors in which Finland has pioneering experience, like IT, renewable energy, digitalization, education, healthcare, advanced industries, and wood industries. We confirmed on the importance of exchanging experience, which supports Egypt's effort in developing the educational system and enhances the performance of the educational institution. We also confirmed on the importance of strategic partnership between Egypt and the European Union and the role that can be played by Finland to support this partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, the discussions also tackled a number of regional and international issues, especially on the Middle East, that witnesses many developments with repercussions extending beyond the borders of the region. In this regard, we stressed on the importance of continuous coordination between different partners to achieve regional and international peace and stability. I also emphasized on Egypt's full rejection and condemnation regarding the attacks against all the Arab states and Gulf states. I also renewed our support to the Arab brotherly states because it's an integral part of Egypt's security. I also highlighted the efforts that have been exerted by Egypt to prevent falling into a hole of endless conflicts, which also affects the international trade. This makes the developments in the region directly affecting the food security, energy security, and international trade movement. In this context, I'd like to present Egypt's welcoming to the current truce, which helps in containing escalation and sets the environment to end the conflict. It also leaves a room for the diplomatic path, which helps reaching peaceful solutions and limits the circle of the conflict. Dear attendees, our discussions also tackled the Palestinian cause. I confirmed to His Excellency the President that it's really important not to distract people's attention from the exaggerated suffering witnessed by the Palestinian people, as well as the continuous violations. I also stressed on the importance of intensifying efforts to achieve the ceasefire agreement and the items of the second phase of Trump's peace plan. I also reviewed Egypt's effort in providing access to humanitarian aid in Gaza Strip. I also stressed on the importance of the unity of the Palestinian territories, and I rejected all the attempts to displace the Palestinian people or any other solution except for the two-state solution, because this is the only path to achieve lasting peace in the region by establishing the independent Palestinian state on the borders of June 4, 1967, with Eastern Jerusalem as its capital. We also discussed the developments of the situation in both Lebanon and Libya. I also presented the efforts exerted by Egypt to reach a ceasefire in Sudan and mitigate the humanitarian suffering in Sudan in coordination with international and regional partners. I also emphasized on Egypt's stance, which supports the unity of Sudan and rejecting any division or any establishment of parallel entities, because this represents a red line for the Egyptian security. Dear attendees, my discussions with His Excellency President Alexander today show the consensus in vision regarding a number of issues. We also stressed on the existence of many opportunities to enhance bilateral cooperation in many fields, which achieves the best interest for both peoples and supports prosperity and development. I'd like to welcome again His Excellency President Alexander Stu in Egypt. I do appreciate his visit, and we will keep working to enhance the relations of friendship and cooperation between both states. Now, I'd like to give the floor to His Excellency the President to deliver his speech. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you for your invitation and for the welcoming that I received and my delegation received. The last time I visited Egypt was in 2009. I was a Minister of Foreign Affairs back then. I was part of a presidential delegation. After I arrived last night, I moved around Cairo and I saw many changes, new roads, new infrastructure, and a change even in the traffic. Everything can be sensed, everything can be witnessed by all the senses. I really liked to look from my hotel window and witness 5,000 years of civilization on the River Nile here in Egypt, the cradle of civilization. We live in a world pervaded by disruptions and lack of peace. And the things that were supposed to gather us, like trade, energy, and technology, now they separate us. We are witnessing local conflicts turning into regional and international conflicts. When there is a void of power in global policy or global politics, usually this void is filled by someone, and when we see international organizations like the United Nations are being marginalized, the world becomes based on deals, while the diplomacy, in my opinion, should be based on achieving interest for both parties, not for one party on the account of another. This reminds me of Egypt in this very dangerous world. We need logical international power seeking solutions for problems. In this regard, I'd like to thank Egypt and congratulate it for the work that it has been doing for a long time now in achieving stability and pursuing peaceful solutions either for the situation in Gaza or the current conflict in Iran. I think now we are in a multipolarity world. However, the multipolarity led to the creation of many deals and conflicts as well. What we want is a multipolar world where countries like Egypt play a leading role in enhancing the multilateral in organizations, especially with the conventions ruling them. Your ability to deal with dynamics in the Middle East and Africa puts you in a situation where you can affect the global policies. I'd like to thank you for the persistent effort of mediation that you keep exerting. Actually, the current and future challenges in the Middle East and Europe are intersecting. Our communities are peaceful. Our countries would like to continue the process of development and follow world order based on mutual rules. However, some decisions made by some world leaders who do not share the same ambitions with us make us pay the price for conflicts that we're never responsible for. However, we need to handle them. The Middle East has been witnessing such events for a long time now, and recently in Iran. But in Europe, Russia's decision to invade Ukraine without any reason represents a flagrant violation to the basic international rules. This greatly affects the security of Europe and the whole world order. The geopolitics directly impacts us, not only at the level of security, but also at the level of economy. I've witnessed this at the beginning of the Russian invasion in Ukraine. This affected the prices of fertilizers and food. And now, we can see the impact of closing Hormuz Strait on the world economy. I'm realistic. I know that the relations across the Atlantic are witnessing huge transformations. In the light of this, we are trying to create a balance, and in Europe, we are trying to enhance our security and defense potential. I have a strong belief that Europe is now more powerful than ever, and the mutual challenges have united us. Similarly, in the Middle East, crises make countries closer. You mentioned that you condemned Iran's attack on the Gulf countries. And we can see cooperation between friends and alliances in the region to end the war in Gaza. And there's like a regional approach to end the conflicts. We hope that the same approach is pursued in the case of Iran. I'd like to thank you for mediating to achieve peace here in Egypt. Also in Jordan, that I visited before coming here, we have reached one conclusion, which is that our interests can only be protected when we protect them by cooperating with friends and alliances. In the West, we need to avoid the mentality that thinks that the conflicts are separated from each other. There are clear interlinkages between Iran, Ukraine, Gaza, West Bank, and Sudan. We discussed these things. I do appreciate the analysis provided to me and to my delegation in this regard. We need mutual solutions for the mutual problems. When the world is changing, there is more room for cooperation between Europe and this region, as I believe. A very important meeting will be held in Cyprus for the European leaders. And also you will attend this meeting, and I will attend this meeting, and I hope this will deepen our relation during the meeting. Of course, in the conclusion, I'd like to reiterate that I'm happy to be accompanied by a delegation of 20 businessmen. We discussed many opportunities, and His Excellency the President spoke about education as a field of cooperation, trade, and enhancing commercial ties. There is a Finnish company working in Egypt for 150 years now, and also other companies in the field of IT and equipment supply. So diplomacy is not limited to the relations between people, but between countries, but also the relations between peoples. When people analyze the diplomatic relations, they think about history, culture, and geopolitics. But there's another dimension, which is personal relations. That's why we are really grateful for being invited here, and I am looking forward to continue our discussion and to deepen our relation with the people of Egypt and with the people of Finland. Thank you so much.
And that was the official reception ceremony held at Ittihadiyya Presidential Palace, and of course the official reception by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to Finland's president, followed by a press conference by the two leaders. Of course, President al-Sisi welcomed the Finnish president's visit to Egypt, affirming Egypt's pride in its bilateral ties with Finland, emphasizing the importance of continuing these joint efforts to develop relations across several fields, including political and economic as well as trade sectors. For his part, the Finnish president expressed his pleasure, of course, in visiting Egypt, meeting President al-Sisi, conveying appreciation for the warm reception and generous hospitality, affirming Finland's keenness to strengthen and continue strengthening bilateral relations, advancing them to broader horizons. We wrap up our coverage for the hour. My name is Angie Meher. Many thanks for watching.